The United States Secretary of State, Mr. John Kerry, was in Nigeria for a 2-day visit and continuation of his tour in Africa, and he had a discussion with the president on the existing bilateral agreements between the U.S. and Nigeria. Boko Haram and human rights and other issues were on the front burner. Now, what exactly was the significance of the United States Secretary visiting Nigeria? Joining us on the show is the political and public affairs analyst, Mr. Victor Ikeji. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yes, so anytime these U.S. people come to our country, we get, hey, what do they want again? Oh, you know, 1 second they're supporting us of Boko Haram. Next thing, you're saying, oh, there are all sort of arguments left, right, and center. What are your thoughts on John Kerry's visit to Nigeria, generally?
And check out being killed for the 9th time, just as John Kerry came into the country.
Anyway, of course, there are a lot of burning issues in Nigeria. First of all, let me maybe do a little bit of throwback, you know, in the sense that Nigeria happens to be the most populous black nation in the world. In fact, it is said that every 4 black men, 1 is a Nigerian. And then secondly, Nigeria happens to be the most populous country in Africa as well. And we cannot also, you know, wish away the fact that Nigeria also is a repository of enormous oil reserve. And of course, you know, this, you know, positions Nigeria in a very, very strategic, you know, position in the international sphere. So coming to Nigeria, of course, we shouldn't be surprised about that. Nigeria is a very, very important player in global politics.
Okay. Now, your thoughts. He went to see the emir, the sultan, and they had a meeting. And I was really wondering, because in my own lifetime, I've not seen where the Secretary of State actually went there to have that kind of conversation. What are your thoughts on the intention of that conversation?
In fact, this has thrown a lot of debates, you know, in the Nigerian political sphere. I mean, asking why the Secretary of State coming to Nigeria and then going to Sokoto, so to speak. And, you know, for some of us who are very keen observers, you know, of course, events, not just in Nigeria, but, you know, within the international context, you will realize that, you know, the northern part of Nigeria, as at today, whether we like it or not, you know, has, you know, a very, very serious effect with what happens within the international system vis-a-vis the Boko Haram issue. And one thing that drives, you know, foreign relations, or at the core of every foreign, you know, relations is, you know, the domestic interest. And if you listen to Americans' election, the 2 topical issues that are discussed is, 1, the economy, and the second one is security. In fact, security happened to maybe even take, you know, a frontal role than even, you know, economy. And then let's come back to Nigeria and the northern Nigeria in particular. You realize the Boko Haram issue, okay, whether, you know, we like it or not, also has some kind of effect in American society, bearing the fact that, you know, the northern region, as of today, okay, has become a festering spot for the grooming of terrorists. And you agree with me that, you know, in fact, Boko Haram happened to be the most dangerous terrorist group in the world. I mean, people might be surprised to hear this. Even more dangerous than ISIS, more dangerous than Al-Qaeda, more dangerous than Al-Shabaab and the rest of it. So,
Why is that?
well, first of all, okay, let's look at the statistics. Boko Haram has killed more people than any other terrorist group in the world. Within
Over
just
30,000.
Yes,
In 5
over
years.
30,000 just within 5 years. You know, with all the hue and cry about ISIS and the rest of it, how many, you know, people, even like Al-Qaeda, how many people have lost their lives? So Boko Haram is the most dangerous, you know, terrorist group in the world. In fact, for whatever ISIS are doing now, Boko Haram has done, you know, even worse. Okay, so we cannot, you know, shy away from the fact that whatever happens in northern Nigeria, northern Nigeria definitely will, be of concern to American government.
So you believe that his visit is more about security than about the economy? Because I think Nigerians are more worried about what's our economy going to look like, the impact of our trade treaties with the US and the fact that we don't have dollars.
That's a very strategic question, and I have pondered over that. To an extent, I will agree that his visit is more, in fact, America is more concerned about maybe security, yes. Yeah. Because I have also pondered over maybe the question that why is Kerry not visiting Niger Delta, where, as we speak, the Avengers and other militant groups, yes.
So it's about their own interest.
So I think it's about their own interest, and that is to say that perhaps Nigerian oil is not really of interest to them anymore.
Well, that's a speculation. We're not sure about that. Well, but let me take this call from Daniel. Daniel, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Sorry, just Carlisle. I don't know. I hope you guys are still discussing the other topics.
Go ahead. Just let it's your view.
Yeah. So I just want to say a few things. One of the two things I want to talk about is one thing is price. I think some people feel that the price of things determines the quality of the product, and so they tend to go for big malls who have products that have higher prices than the smaller ones, because they feel the smaller ones don't have quality product because the prices are kind of low, and so they prefer to go for the bigger one.
Right.
And then another thing is quality of the goods and services they get from both malls. Do you feel that if I go for a bigger mall, I get bigger services? For instance, hotel services. It will be difficult to find people filled up in a smaller hotel than the larger one, because they feel I'll get better quality in a hotel.
Bigger hotel.
Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for your comments.
Two questions in one. It would seem like it is obvious why the Americans will be worried about the security of Nigerians. Having the huge refugee problem that we have coming out of Syria, they're worried. And we're already seeing such with our IDP camps and hunger and a few children dying, But also, we've had Boko Haram, for 7 years, since July 28, 2009, when they started the war against the federal government. And first, Hillary Clinton, who was Secretary of State at the time, refused to declare them as a terrorist organization. Also, America has come out to say that we want to help you. During the Chibok saga, we want to help you. They've given us some equipment, but we're still having this issue. So how excited should Nigerians be with John Kerry's second visit in recent times?
Okay. Well, would I really say excited? But however we look at it, I think it's a welcome development, Americans visit, because, no matter how you want to dislike America, you cannot wish away the fact that America is the world's superpower. And America never pretends, in playing the role of a
big brother.
Not even big brother. The self-assigned world police, yes, the self-assigned world police. So let's come back to Kerry's visit to Nigeria, and then particularly to the northern part.
Can I pause you for a second? Sorry, I have a call. I don't want to miss this call. Yakub, are you still there? I'm so sorry. Go ahead, please.
Okay, let's come back to Kerry's visit to Nigeria, and particularly the northern part of the country. And then we may also want to ask, why Sokoto? Why not Bauchi?
Or Yobe.
So that is to say that, of course, Sokoto, even though some people might assume that Kaduna is the political headquarters of, northern Nigeria, but most of the strategic or crucial decisions that are taken, that affects the northern Nigeria are taken right in the caliphate. So maybe that explains, yes, that explains why.
But he did mention the issue of corruption. John Kerry did harp on the fact that U.S. will continue U.S. support to help them get money back to the Nigerian system. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course. his visit in Nigeria, he also met the president, Buhari, and amongst various other issues they discussed is the counterterrorism effort. They mentioned, they discussed the economy. Yeah. Of course, we know what is happening in the Nigerian economy today. And then thirdly, the anti-corruption effort.
Yeah.
And lastly, of course, the human rights question. We know America, wherever they travel, they go with, two things in their hands. One is their agenda, and then the second one is always the human rights issues.
Let me take Ebuka from Kaduna. I don't want to lose that call. Ebuka?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
I would like to contribute both on this topic and the previous one, the last one, right?
Yes.
But first, we should always bear in mind that wherever the Americans visit, they are always what's in for us. Do you understand? It is always the what's in for us, what do they stand to benefit. Biggest, they tend to look at the impact of any nation's activity on their own people. And why somebody will say, why Sokoto? Sokoto, that part of the country have always been a vantage point right from the colonial era.
Yes.
You understand? So don't forget. So it has always been a point of access into the country. I don't know, I can't say that's my own point anyway, that on this issue. So I think Kerry's visit to the Sokoto Caliphate must have been for their own interest. So I don't think Nigeria should get excited about that. But I was like, what are they in for? What do they want to get? You get. That is one. On the impact of the big malls on the smaller businesses, I must tell you that myself as a person, I think I like that in those small markets, in the shop, neighborhood and all that, because I've had experiences in the shopping malls. I've gone to a shopping mall in Kano, Grand Square, and their sets of 3 crown have expired by a month or two. That is one. Two, I've gone to another shopping mall, a big shopping mall in Kano. Their Marvel skim milk is expiring on the 8th of this month. I didn't check it. That is 2. 3, ShopRite, their prices are stupidly outrageous. I am a market person. I know how to buy things in the market, and I know how to check prices. I've compared prices of all these things and compared prices of the ones in the market. The market is not even far cheaper. Same quality. You go to ShopRite or Amazon, and they'll say, hey, no, our own is imported from heaven.
Thank you, Buga. From Kaduna. Yes, yeah, you're yes.
We're not going to break yet.
Oh yeah, let's go. Commercial break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. Now let's yes.
Yeah, the fight against Boko Haram, a lot of people say that it is more political than actually that's why they do not take Boko Haram so much as a terrorist group, like they would take ISIL or what's it called,
ISIS
or Al-Shabaab and all that, Al-Qaeda. Now, what are your takes on that? That the fact that Boko Haram is more political, and even if this man visits, because when they were about to rescue the Chibok girls, the Americans sent their troop, they were ready, and they came back and said, you know what, we're not doing it again. So it tells us Nigerians that there's more politics being played than actual what's called,
Okay, I'll let you answer that. Let me take this call from Reverend Dominic. Are you there?
Good morning.
Long time, sir. Are you still in this country?
You abandoned us.
I did.
Welcome, sir. Please go ahead.
You know what? I'm not much interested the Secretary of American State coming here. But I'm interested if America is also interested in Nigerian safety. How come that let's leave the previous government. They said they didn't do things well. That's Jonathan's government. But this government have shown character. Why is it till today that somebody will fling our children in our face in Nigeria, that he hold them ransom and abuse all of us, and went to hide either somewhere in China or in Niger or in Nigeria, and we cannot find them? Can't America help us to solve this issue? For this embarrassment to go out for once for all?
They have the satellite. Why is he hiding people in Ghana or in Chad or in Nigeria or Cameroon? We cannot see them. And someone will come and, throw it on our face like carrot and go back to hiding. This shame is getting out of hand.
So do you think it's political?
Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic. Connecting.
Please, I don't want us to get too sentimental or emotional with this issue. At the beginning, I did mention that, international relations is actually anchored on domestic interest, whether we like it or not.
True, very true.
And then I also mentioned that perhaps one of the main reasons why Kerry is in Nigeria is Americans' concern for his own domestic security. And I mentioned that, Boko Haram or that area of Nigeria is becoming a festering spot for the grooming of terrorists.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, what is the ultimate aim of this group? Is to export
terrorists.
These terrorists. And their number one target is United States of America. So I think America is becoming very worrisome. And we should also remember that, in fact, the American political discourse today is very much centered around insecurity and then also the
so you don't think there's any political link in this Boko Haram fight?
I will come to that. So I was saying that American discourse today in relation to security is that the government, Obama's government allowed ISIS to fester, and today see what it has become. Exactly. So perhaps they don't want to make the same mistake in Nigeria.
With Boko Haram.
So that's why they want to nip it in the bud, even though it's coming quite late.
7 years.
Yes, even though it's coming quite late, but they still feel they have an open window or opportunity.
Let me take this call from Laja. Laja from Ikorodu. Laja Martins, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Old callers. Yes. Good morning. Welcome to the show, sir. Hello. Go ahead.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Long time. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good to have you. Please go ahead.
Yes, I am. Okay. First of all, Kerry going to Kerry going to Sokoto area, going to see the Sultan, stems from the fact that the Northern Caliphate, they all look up to the Sultan.
Yeah.
They all look up to Sultan. And there is a sort of local rivalry between the Borno people, between the eastern side and the western side of the northern area of the country. But let's leave that as it is. I want to talk about this Chibok girl. I believe Kerry should have addressed that seriously. A lot of women are traumatized. I cannot imagine seeing my daughter on the telly. For the past 2 years, she's not been around, and some people are taking hold of her. I think this should be seriously addressed. And there is a clue. I believe there is a politics being played about this girl. I am sorry, but it's a very traumatizing thing. You are all women there. And I know you women are closer to your children than we men. We can make children as many as we can. That's the short of it. But let us be serious about it. We must rescue this girl.
Thank you very much. Let's take some tweets, please.
Yeah,
Several
Reverend says, is the Sultan of Sokoto proxy to the president? Why will John Kerry visit him instead of Shehu of Borno? Tariq Shul says, it's about time Nigeria stops hosting people from other countries until things get better. There's hunger in the land of Buhari. Tam says, John Kerry visit has nothing to offer Nigeria anything. I wish we were colonized by the French government. Things would have been better by now. Otumba Michael says, the Zamfara killings, the president thinks the best and only way to react is on Twitter.
You were saying that America, they want to nip it in the bud. But you see, does it tell you that even they themselves, they did not take it seriously when it started 7 years ago?
Yes, no.
Because, so you've not answered the question of how political is this Boko Haram fight?
The question of being political, I have addressed it.
Okay, tell me.
No, we should not be emotional.
Yes, let's not be emotional, about it. how does it directly affect the American society? Earlier, okay, they had perhaps viewed the Boko Haram menace as a domestic issue. But they are beginning to wake up to the fact that, I mean, this is not, just a domestic, affair for Nigerians. It's, with time, it's going to have a spiral of effect over, American society. Perhaps that's why they have decided to wake up, to their responsibility.
And there was someone in
the
article.
What about within Nigeria?
There was someone in the article.
Okay, you're talking about the political aspect within
because
Nigeria.
I was going to connect that with the story I read in the article today, saying that Modu Sheriff actually was, he actually started Boko Haram, not directly, but he allowed them, he allowed insecurity to fester in his own state. It was as a former governor of Borno. When they started this issue of insecurity amongst, he actually never nipped it in the bud. So he allowed them to actually go ahead with that campaign, the jihadist campaign.
And then he's the one who also sent out that journalist who went on exile to Dubai.
I can assure you, for every militancy that has, risen up in Nigeria, somehow politicians have...
There's a political undertone.
Yes, politicians have a hand in it.
Yeah.
Starting from Niger Delta, the Niger Delta militants were actually those that were used by politicians to, of course,
to win elections.
Yes, to engender their political ambitions.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's the same thing that happened. And after the elections, what happened? They were all left to their fates. And then all those arms that they, acquired, they decided they put it to good use. So that's the same thing that happened in... So even though, of course, a lot of people blame it on Modi Sheriff, of course, we cannot also...
Silence is
exonerate.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I think thank you very much. Appreciate Mr. Ikeji for being on our show. That's all we can take on the show today. Don't forget, you can watch a repeat tonight at 11:30. You can also catch us on YouTube/TV Entertainment and search for Your View. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow. Bye. Bye-bye.